Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Reach podcast. And today we're going to be talking about trying new things over the summer. It's so interesting, when it comes to just trying new things in general. We're so used to our routine, but sometimes the holidays can bring up new ideas and new activities, especially knowing it's hot outside and knowing that there's just some fun activities we can all do.
School's out, so what do we do with that free time? What do we just stick with our same routines, stay inside, or do we get out?
Yeah, right? It's so funny. I work in a job where I work all year round, but over the summer, I do like to try and, do something that I haven't done before. For instance, the summer is a really popular time to go to a new place that you haven't been to before. I know down here in Orlando, we've got Epic Universe that just opened up. That might be a really good opportunity, to go this summer and actually explore the park, go outside, do something fun.
Or being Florida, going somewhere that's indoor and air conditioned.
True. Very true.
Depending on your heat tolerance. Like me, yes, outside, personally, I would just rather just sit on the beach and get a suntan, but that's just me.
That is very true. That is very true. I know I like being indoors a lot too, so going to see a new movie. There's got to be several movies coming out this summer and being inside and enjoying the cold air conditioning while watching a summer blockbuster. That definitely sounds good.
That's not good. That just good. I mean, that's classic way of dealing with the heat. The first air conditioners actually started in movie theaters. Just fun fact.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you're going to go see a movie, uh, this is a chance to also try a different genre. Like, yes, you got summer blockbusters, your usuals like superhero films and stuff like that, but try something else.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know there's actually a movie that's coming out that's all about a music documentary. And I'm not usually one to watch music documentaries or really documentaries in general, but knowing that this music documentary is about somebody that I really enjoy makes me think, okay, now I'm going to see about watching this and who knows, maybe I might end up liking watching documentaries after that. I don't know if that's true, but hey, you never know, right?
Yeah, and actually, that's a good point. Like, trying to make that connection to that new thing is going to make that transition all the much easier. Some of the things I've tried over the years have been because I've seen various characters in anime do them. So, like, I taught myself how to play shogi, and that's only because I've seen characters in anime. It's been referenced so much. I'm like, okay, what is this, and what is Japanese chess, and how does it compare to like the Western version of chess? Personally, I like it better, only because I've tried it.
Oh my goodness. I love that so much. And it's so interesting thinking about just trying new things in general. I used to live near the water and one of the things that my mom and I used to do, we try to do this at least once a month, but over the summer we actually tried to go a little bit more often, kayaking. Kayaking was definitely a good way to just get out there, exercise the muscles a little bit, but also to just get some sunshine in. Some of us who really don't like the heat, might not necessarily like kayaking, but let me tell you, being out on the water and being able to row was just so peaceful. I didn't, at first, I was actually really hesitant about trying kayaking because of the fact that I was getting really tired really easily. But then I realized, oh, hey, this is actually a really cool activity. I can get myself out there on the water, enjoy the sights while I'm at it. It ended up being something that I liked. So, I definitely will always encourage to try something new, something outside of your comfort zone.
Did you do any research beforehand, like a good rowing technique, or just dove right in?
No, I just delved right in. I was like, "Oh, hey, let's try this." And I was told like about a couple different ways to steer, a couple different ways to make sure that like the what is it called? Like the paddles were in a specific position. But that being said, I just went right in and was like, "Okay, this is really fun and actually kind of a relaxing activity." And being out on the water, I was rowing near different islands and different nature in general, and it was just really beautiful to be able to do that.
Yeah, and forgive me if I'm wrong, you went with
My
somebody
mom.
that you, okay, so you went with somebody that you knew, which
Yes.
helped, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Always. It always helps. I mean, on my end, trying new things alone can be really, really scary. I recently came back from a vacation where, though there was a work element to it, I did go to Hawaii and I went by myself. I didn't have anyone with me. And there were things that I tried, but I tried them because I knew I was going with a group as opposed to going by myself. Going by myself can be really, really challenging on my end because how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to interact? How am I supposed to just handle the environment? I'm in a brand new state. I don't know anything. It's like kind of diving right in. That can be really, really challenging. But at the same time, it did actually help boost a little bit of my confidence in the sense of I know I can do this now. And now that I've done it, who knows? Maybe I'll pick a different state. Maybe I'll pick a different location.
That's another thing. Being able to have finding groups that you can go with to try these things is very beneficial. Then some of that could be doing some research, finding groups on, say, Eventbrite or Meetup, or like taking a class, and then that class leads you to going, hey, not only can you do it in this class, but you can go over to here and you can also do it. So you get extra practice doing it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it really does help being with a group of people. I know that a few years ago, I actually traveled out of the country. And not only did I travel out of the country, but I went to like 10 different countries. And I did it by myself, but with a group. So I went like on the plane to where I was supposed to, by myself for the most part. But then I went with a group throughout the other countries because, everyone was so interested in traveling, everyone was so interested in seeing the sights. So it does help being in a group together where there is common interests and there is a common goal, I guess, at the end. In my case, it was traveling to new countries, trying new foods, trying new cultures, kind of seeing what all is out there. And you might find that, hey, there might be something really cool for you out there.
Like finding a common goal when you're doing things is a nice other way in, especially for a lot of anyone who's on the spectrum who happens to be extremely goal oriented and just like, okay, it's not so much about what I feel, it's just like I want to just do this. And I want to accomplish something. I want to experience the world and learn about it. And having those goals and like even breaking it down into smaller goals to reach that bigger goal, or even smaller steps to go, okay, I'm going to dip my toes in and do it this way. I'm just going to touch the water, see how cold it is. Okay, do I like it? Do I not? Okay, then dive in or not.
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely am a proponent of that. And I know like on my end, being very goal oriented myself, I actually have a 40 before 40 list. And my 40 before 40 list is basically a list of 40 goals or 40 things that I want to do before my 40th birthday. And so I have a few things that I've already accomplished. And there are things that are pretty big goals, and there are some things that are like, okay, I could probably attain them. For example, one of the goals that I have is to go to 3 Cirque du Soleil shows because I think Cirque du Soleil is really, really cool. I've been to 2 already. I went to one in Hawaii and I went to one in Las Vegas. And I'm hoping that, within the next year or so, I can go to another Cirque du Soleil show. There's actually a Cirque du Soleil show in Orlando that I have yet to check out. So thinking about those things, it's like thinking about, hey, what sounds interesting? What is something that you really want to do? And though it might take time, it might take a little bit of money, it might take a little bit of encouragement, that can really, really be a great way to get yourself out there and try new things as well.
That sounds great. Just being able to, like, okay, I've seen it here. Let's see new performers in a different art form of the same style. One fun thing some people might do is like, oh, I have a favorite band. Let's see different cities by seeing the band in different cities.
Oh yeah, I've seen like what are they called? Like roadies or something
Or
like that.
groupies or something like that.
Groupies. Yes, groupies. Yeah, they do that where it's like, "Oh, hey, I know that I love this band. Let's see them perform in different cities and states around the country." And it's like it's kind of amazing to be able to see like what happens when you go to those different venues and still see the same band, see how they perform in different venues too. It's really cool.
But that way you have a base of like, okay, this is familiar to me. I love concerts. I love the band or individual artists. And but you can from there branch out and explore the city, but still have a home base to connect to.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's really one good way to try something new while also still kind of like in a way, I guess, sticking to a routine or sticking to something that you like. I know personally, I really love Cirque du Soleil, and I'm willing to go to different Cirque du Soleil shows around the country should I either need to go there for work or should I just go there for a vacation, So if I know that Cirque du Soleil is something that I really like, I might go to a different city. I might, check out the city, or I might end up doing it here in Orlando, where it's like, hey, I know that there's a Cirque du Soleil in my hometown. I can go check out the area and check out some other new things. So you have that common thing along with the uncommon things too.
Have any advice for say like what if we're just at home? It's like a really rainy Florida day, like there's many of them. And like what's something we can do just at home?
Yeah, I know personally when we're at home, let's say, it's raining outside, power's still on, you might find something on Netflix or, a random app that you watch on TV, and you might find a different movie or a different TV show that you might end up liking. Usually that's something that we get sucked into. I know personally it'll be raining outside, and I know like my mom has introduced me to random TV shows that she thinks are really funny. And I'm somebody who likes comedy. So, of course, if I know that it's a comedy type of show, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to have a good time with it. If it's something where it's like maybe the power's out because, there's a really bad thunderstorm, I might end up finding a book that I really like. I actually currently have probably about 30 or 40 books in my bookshelf right now, and though I could do better about reading, what I could spend that time doing is reading a book that I haven't necessarily read yet. Cuz again, you have the limitation of going outside because the weather is bad, but you do still have, at least in my case, I still have some things at home to do.
Books are a wonderful, wonderful way of like exploring a bunch of new things from the safety of your own home. And you go, oh, this character went on this adventure. Oh, they visited the UK. They went to Florida. They went like maybe one day I can try like investigate these places because they've been there. They were fine. They were like, oh, cool. Or say you were spending time with like a relative and like they during rainy times or down times they crocheted or they knit or something. You can take up small like lessons there where you can go, oh, I have a family member that has this hobby. I've never tried it, but they've always been nice enough to make me really nice warm things. Maybe I could learn a little bit there too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that's a really good way to do that. One of the things that we did for a little while was actually something called diamond art. It's called like diamond dots or diamond dots, or I don't remember the exact name of them, but basically what we would do is we would get these little like jewel type of things, and they had kits and you could create a picture. I actually created a picture with little jewels of a dog, funny enough, a pug, which if you know me, I love pugs. And so I have that hanging in my room. So that's something that I used to do, when we were inside a little bit more often. Also, if you have somebody that, you really enjoy your company with, like a partner, or if you have like your mom or siblings, one of the things that we also really like to do is we like to play games together. So I know personally we probably have about 10 games in our little bookshelf area. We would go and play different games. We would play like Quirkle, Uno. We would just have a really good time just being in each other's company, but also playing games too.
I have a relative who has a closet, two bookshelves, and another closet filled with board games.
Oh my gosh.
So, yes, downtimes when we had no power or like somebody's birthday or something, board game night. He would watch videos on different board games and just like, oh, this new board game came out. Try this. This game wasn't very good, but this one was amazing. Try this, and he like scope all these games out, and that's how he also met some of his friends was like board games slash video games. actually has met people through games in real life, which has been interesting.
That's actually really cool. I know my older brother likes to paint these Warhammer characters because he likes to play Warhammer with his friends, and that's one of the things that like he recently got into, and he really found that to be such a great hobby. And I know people who really like doing games like that, games like Dungeons and Dragons. There's a lot of different games that are out there that you might find, hey, I've never done this before, but I know somebody who really likes this game. Maybe I should try it. Maybe I should get myself at least curious enough to try it, even if you don't end up liking it.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons is a great way for a couple different things. One, if you are a gamer and love the genre of role-playing games, it falls right into that category. It's just a little bit more involved because a lot of mechanics are calculated by humans, though there
Mhm.
are apps and stuff that might help you. The other aspect is it's a great way to practice social skills because sometimes you have to negotiate with the dungeon master who's playing all these villains and NPCs, non-playable characters for those who don't know the acronyms, and practicing different tactics, as an actor would say, different strategies to try and get someone to do something, and then rolling to see how well that worked. Not only do you have to try and act it, the dice also still decide whether or not it worked or not. So it's dealing with that. Oh, I still might fail despite how hard I tried, but it was still interesting or funny, and sometimes the results could just be absolutely hilarious. Like you go to try to speak to something in a different language and you fumble the words and you accidentally insult them. The other aspect of the game is, oh, maybe you fall into the category of, oh, I always like playing this one class, so sometimes I want to be the sneaky sneaky thief. Well, maybe today you're going to be the righteous paladin, and you cannot go against the law. It's against your code, and you cannot be that dark anti-hero character that you always love to be.
See, and it goes to show you, even with the games that, you might end up playing, just that, and games is just as an example, you might find, oh, hey, you are playing this game, but maybe you're trying different ways to play the game. Maybe you're naturally playing the game differently because the rules of the game now are something a little bit different. So that's where we just really have to kind of figure, okay, we have this one activity, we might find that to be familiar to us, but how can we do it differently too? There's always fun in trying new things within unfamiliar activities, but also within familiar activities too. That's why thinking about things like watching a new movie, playing a different version of a game. I know personally Uno is one of those games where it's like you could come up with about 15 different rules in Uno. And I know sometimes with some of the people that I play with, they like to play various ways. They might say, like, this card means this. And, if you do this, then you're going to have to draw 15 cards, just as an example. So it's like there's different ways to doing the same activity. It's just getting creative and thinking about how you want to do it.
Yeah, another fun game, if anybody's never tried it before, there's a game series called Flux, where the rules will change while you're playing the game. There's cards that specifically change the rules, hence the name Flux.
I don't think I've ever played that game before, actually. Is it like one of those games where it's like is it like a card game or is
It's a
it
card game.
okay,
Yeah,
got
so
it.
yeah, so certain cards will change what the different restrictions or like I believe how you would win the game. So the conditions of the game constantly change. There's different versions of it too. There's like zombie flux and stuff like that.
And it just kind of goes to show you there's a lot of activities that you might find to be really fun. But at the same time, you might also find, hey, there's different ways to do this, or you might just want to try different things in general. No matter what the case is, the summer's a really great time to be able to do those things. Even if you are working year round like me, um, you know, that could be something to really look at.
So when we're going to explore some of these things, it might be good to consider some of the sensory needs that we're going to encounter in these areas, which brings us to what we're going to do next time.
Yes, yes. So, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Next time, we will be talking about.
Sensory needs.
All right. Thank you, everyone.